Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Leslie, and if you like videos on budgeting and decluttering and general commentary on consumerism, you are in the right spot. So for today's video, we have a monthly budget with me, but before I get into that, I have a huge secret and an apology because I have been lying to you. So in a lot of my videos, I refer to my husband, but what I didn't tell you is that we were not legally married until yesterday. So we actually did get married. And the reason that I always refer to him as my husband is because we've been together for 8 years. We have a 5-year-old. So outside of it being legal, we consider ourselves to be married. I've had a ring since December, and we refer to each other as if we're married. So that's the big secret that I've had that is no longer a secret as of yesterday. So obviously that impacted my budget a lot for May, because at the beginning of May, I didn't know I was going to get married. And then yesterday on June 2nd, we did get married. So that definitely affected things, and then it will affect my next budget. So that's going to be a big part of this video. I do want to talk more about my wedding and people's reactions to our wedding and people's opinions and just wedding culture and how I feel about all of that, but I'm going to save that for another video. And also, because this week has obviously been so busy and we have our little honeymoon we're doing over the weekend, normally this kind of budgeting video is an extra video in addition to the one that I post every week. But this week, this is going to be the only video I post just because I'm so busy with everything else. But I will be back to my normal schedule after this. So with all that being said and my big secret out of the bag, let's jump into the May recap of my budget and how far over budget I went. But the good thing is that I am getting some extra money that I didn't expect because we got married. So I actually get a bonus from work for getting married. My parents are giving us some money. So I did get a little extra income that I also wasn't expecting. So the good news is that my little bonus from work for getting married is actually going to fund pretty much everything, because we had a really low-key wedding. Our honeymoon is very simple. We're just going to a hotel for a couple of nights, mainly because we can't find childcare for more than a couple of nights. So we're just going to do kind of an extended date night, like go out to dinner. We might go see a movie, just do little things like that over a couple days. So it's very budget friendly as far as something like that goes. Although honestly, budget wasn't our whole reason for keeping it so low key. I'm not a big wedding person. My husband is not a big wedding person. So it was really easy for us to just keep things small, keep things simple and cheap, just because that's what we wanted anyway, even outside of budget. So I'm going to bring up my budget sheet, and I will have the budget sheet I use linked in the description. It's one that I just bought on Etsy, and I really like it. It's a cute little spreadsheet, and you can change the colors however you want, the categories, so it's really nice. But this is the one that I've been using for over a year now, and you can just use the same one and do a new sheet for each month. It's so simple. So one thing that was kind of interesting is that even though I went super far over my budget, I actually didn't have to take any money out of savings. Some of the extra money I got, I did sell an investment because I want to focus more on my savings. So I did take some money out of investments and move it to savings. And then one share that I sold that was around $500, I actually did put that in my checking account. And so that went towards some of this stuff. So luckily it didn't put too much of a dent in my budget. And like I said, I'll be getting some money in June that will kind of help pay for some of this in May. As much as I don't like spending money that I don't have, this is one of those situations where it was kind of necessary. Like, we didn't want to wait longer to get married, and we were going to pay for it regardless. So whether it was a work bonus or out of our savings, it didn't really matter. We were going to do it anyway. So I tend to forget to do subscriptions as part of this analysis. So I'll just start with that. Because I did have one unexpected subscription that I forgot to cancel, because of course I did. I said that in my last video that I might forget to cancel, and I don't know why I wasn't more careful. It was only $5 though. It was like $5 and what was it? $5.33. It was a Patreon subscription I forgot to cancel. And honestly, I still watch the content for that YouTuber that I get through Patreon, so I am still using it. And honestly, it's kind of hard to give up because I do like their content, but it's one of those things where I just don't like paying for something like that, especially when there's so much on YouTube already for free. But it's, I don't know, that's one of those dilemmas I tend to have. So I'll go ahead and keep it for another month and then cancel it. So I did have one more Amazon Kids that I have for my daughter for her kids Kindle. I was paying month to month, and I just went ahead and paid for the year because it was cheaper and I'm going to pay no matter what. So that was another one that was more than I expected, but I'm not going to have the monthly subscription fee. So that was good. Okay, so let's jump into the actual expenses. Oh my gosh, another thing I did. So groceries, I went way over budget. I budgeted $625 and I spent almost $1,000 on groceries, but it's because I was buying so much extra. So with all the talk of the tariffs and possible shortages and prices going up, and everyone was just talking about all the stuff that might happen, and it kind of freaked me out. So I went ahead and I just bought extra of a lot of stuff. So this is actually stuff that we're going to eat anyway. I just bought extra. So things like meat, and I put it in the freezer, oats, rice, canned food, like it's a lot of stuff we eat anyway. So I basically just like super stocked our pantry extra full. So oh, and I did have to buy extra protein powder, so that was quite a bit on its own. I think I spent like $150 on protein powder because I bought 2 of those huge tubs. Maybe it was $120. So that's another expense that took up a lot of that grocery money. But like I said, it's stuff that we're going to eat anyway, so I'm not super concerned about it. It just sucks. It was all in the same month as all these other expenses that I had. Paper goods was the same situation. I just went ahead and bought extra of paper towels and toilet paper. So my budget was $55 and I spent $107, which makes sense because I basically bought double from what I assumed I was going to buy. Gas, I filled up my car once. Preschool, so this is a weird one. I think this is why everything kind of evened out without having to take too much out of savings. So the preschool teacher that we normally pay went out of town, so we weren't able to pay for like 2 weeks. So yesterday I actually had 3 weeks worth of expenses for 3 weeks worth of preschool payments to do. So my preschool budget is $1,300. I only spent $500. So that's a lot of money that I'm gonna have to make up for June. But it helped everything else kind of even out for May. But yeah, I'll have to put that on my June budget. Okay, so another place God, May was just such a mess. So another place I overspent was personal care, and this was pretty much all hair stuff. So I don't really go to the salon. At this point, it's been probably a year since I've been to the salon, maybe 9 months. So I really wanted to get more of like that salon blowout look, and I knew the Dyson Airwrap would do that, but I didn't want to spend that much money. So I researched and I found the Shark version, the Shark, what's it called? Flex Style, the Shark Flex Style. So I went ahead and bought that. I ended up buying it on eBay for like $160. So that was a nice little discount because I think on Amazon it's like $250 maybe. So I did get that for cheaper. But my budget was $20 and I spent $284. So I went way over budget even with that. But I bought some hair stuff, like some bobby pins. I bought this little like little headband thing that I thought I was going to wear to the wedding, and I actually didn't. I restocked my hairspray. There's some things that I had to repurchase also, like just restock. So I did spend a lot on personal care and toiletries. So that was another one that I went over on. Over-the-counter meds and vitamins, I only went over by $10, but it's because we had to buy a few things all at once that I didn't expect. I always hate when that happens. Daughter once, I didn't get anything because actually my parents came to visit, and they, for daughters once, I actually didn't buy anything because my parents came to visit and they bought her all kinds of stuff. So she did not need me to buy anything. Daughter's needs, I went over a little bit because it was clothes, but it's obviously stuff she needs, so I had to buy it for her. So medical expenses, I actually did go over, and this is related to the car accident that I had at the beginning of the year. So my car insurance did pay a lot as far as medical expenses. I did have $159. That's what I went over. So $159 bill. And they told me I could submit the claim to my insurance. And I was looking for the information, and it seemed like such an ordeal. I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and pay this $159 to get it out of the way. So you may completely disagree with me on that, because if I had sent it to my insurance, I probably could have gotten it covered, honestly. But this has been dragged out so long. My car accident was in January, and I was just so ready to have this over with, because I was gonna have to get like all kinds of information from the hospital, manually submit it to the insurance, and I just didn't want to waste my time doing all of this. So I did just go ahead and pay the $160. It's not that bad. I really don't have that many medical expenses anyway, so I didn't mind. It seems like there are people who are totally fine taking the extra steps to do something like that to save some money. And I'm like that sometimes, but sometimes with something like this, it's been drawn out so long, I was just ready to not see another bill related to this and just get it all taken care of all at once. And it was so easy that it was just worth it to me. Okay, so anyway, gifts, nothing on gifts. Clothes. I really debated on having a whole separate wedding category because all of my clothing expenses were related to the wedding, except I think I did buy one pair of shorts, but they were thrifted for like $10. So clothes, I went over by $550. I did budget quite a bit for clothes because there are some things I knew I was gonna need. But I spent $750 on clothes. But my wedding dress was only like $100. Well, okay, so my wedding dress was like $70. Then I had my bouquet, which was like $20. And then what else did I have? What else did I have? I feel like I bought one more thing. Anyway, everything I needed to have on, oh, the bobby pins. Everything I needed to have on my body while I was getting married ended up being like $100 even. So I have a lot of dresses I bought because I wanted to try them on and see what I liked the best, obviously. So a lot of that is coming back in returns. It just won't come back until June because I didn't send them back until like the end of May. So that clothing amount is kind of inaccurate. I really probably did only spend like the $200, and then the rest is coming back in returns. What else did I feel like I did buy one more thing as far as clothing. I think with ThredUp, I had some fees when I returned things, and I ended up spending a little more than what I meant to at ThredUp. But yeah, the clothing expense is just so inaccurate. I'm not even worried about it, so we'll just leave that alone. Hobbies. So this is the first month, I think, that I have spent anything on hobbies. I've told you before in other videos that I was trying so hard to not spend money on things like books and yarn and some of these hobbies. But this month I bought one book and then I bought some plants. So I haven't bought a plant since last Mother's Day. So when this Mother's Day rolled around, I was like, I have got to get a plant. I want a plant so bad. And then I bought a secondhand book on eBay, and the book was like $15. And then the rest of this was plants. So I'm good on plants right now. I got the one book I really wanted. It was a manga, a horror manga book that's just really hard to find, and my library didn't have it. So I went ahead and bought it on eBay. And the good thing with those kind of books is they actually really hold their resale value. So if I do choose to resell it, I'll probably get most of my money back anyway. So I just went ahead and bought it. Pets. So I went over a little bit in pets because I had to buy litter twice last month. I don't know if you're familiar with the Arm & Hammer litter. It's really good, but it's very strong. Like, it has a really strong fragrance, and it was great when I had 2 cats, but now that I have 1, I really don't need such a strong fragrance. So I went ahead and bought the Fresh Step, I think it was the odor-free one. It has like the charcoal bits in it. Anyway, that one has been amazing, and I don't have that super strong smell because my cat's litter box, we have my office/closet, and then her litter box is in there. So a lot of my clothes are in the same room as her litter box. So I was tired of smelling like Arm & Hammer litter. It was really annoying because it is so strong. And then when I work from home in there, it just smells so strong. It was driving me crazy and like giving me headaches. So I just went ahead and got the unscented one, and it's been amazing. Like, I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. So anyway, yeah, I had to buy litter twice, and it's actually cheaper than the Arm & Hammer one. Entertainment, I spent $0. Home goods and decor, I actually spent $0. Proud of that one. Childcare, we didn't spend anything. I definitely will next month though. Salon, I didn't spend anything, but like I said, I bought all that hair stuff to replace what I would normally go to the salon for. Dining out, I did go over a little bit. I'm not sure why. I only went over by like $5, so it's not that serious. Car maintenance, I still do have one thing I need to get fixed on my car. I've been saying that for months, but my husband is basically a mechanic, so he's really good about knowing about that kind of thing. And he was gonna change my brakes, but he needed some tools that he didn't have, and I think the brakes were wrong. So I'm gonna have to wait a little longer on my brakes, and then there's one more thing I have to get fixed. So that's why I keep budgeting money for that. And then every month I end up not doing it. So I'm just waiting for him to be like, you got to do this like now. Vacation, 0. Electronics, I did go a little over on Oh, I needed a phone case. That's what it was. I bought a phone case. Insurance registration was 0. My husband and our finances are separate, if that wasn't obvious. But my husband paid for all of our wedding registration type stuff. Gym and house cleaner, those are fixed costs, so they're the same every month. Although I did go over by 5 cents. I think that happened last month. Maybe there's like some price discrepancy that's causing that now. Work, 0. Miscellaneous, 0. I did go over a lot on laundry by like $40, but it's because I tended to get my laundry money every week, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and get a whole bunch of cash at once to do laundry. So that money is just gonna go towards next month, and hopefully I'll have a lower laundry cost next month. And then I do save for retirement every month. Savings, I actually managed to put $100 in savings, so that was cool, I guess. And then investments, like I said, I sold some of my investments to focus on savings. So I did actually put a little bit, I transferred some from investments to savings. Okay, so with that being done, let's take a look at June, because I know June's going to be a little weird with some of the extra wedding costs being there, and our little honeymoon cost is going to be in June. So for groceries, I really hope we don't have a huge grocery bill. I'm just going to leave it at what it is for at $6.25 since I spent so much last month. Paper goods, we really shouldn't need anything, but I'm going to drop it to $30 just in case I want to buy a little bit of, just in case I need to buy something, honestly. Gas, I usually keep the same because I fill up like once a month. Sometimes I will have 2 gas payments, and actually I filled up yesterday, so I may have another gas payment, but I'm just going to leave it alone for now. Preschool, like I said, I'm going to owe more at preschool because I paid less last time. I think it's going to, oh man, it might be another like $700. No wait, because one of the weeks overlaps. I'm gonna add another $550 on there. So I'm gonna make it $1,850 instead of the normal $1,300. Personal care and toiletries, I'll leave it $20. Meds and vitamins, I think I'm gonna need more vitamin D, and then my daughter is gonna need some more vitamins also. So that's like, what is that, like 40? I don't know why I'm asking you. I'm gonna put 45 because I feel like it might end up being like 20 each. Daughter's wants and needs, I think, oh, she has her little preschool graduation, so I might need to buy her a dress. I'm gonna put that under needs for, I'll put 25. I honestly don't want to spend $25 on a dress she'll wear once. That might be something that my husband's mom, I guess I can call her my mother-in-law now. That might be something my mother-in-law can get for her. Medical expenses, I'll keep the same because I don't anticipate anything there. Gifts, it is Father's Day in June, but my husband isn't big on gifts like that. It's just so hard. And you know what? I'm gonna put that at 20 because I can think of a couple things that I might get him. Clothes does not need to be 200. I don't want to buy any clothes. You know what? I might actually just put 0. The only thing I can see myself needing is maybe some workout tank tops. You know, I'll just put 25. We'll do 25. That's reasonable. Hobbies, I already spent on hobbies. I think I'm good on that, so I'm gonna put 0. Pets, she's good on food. She might need 1 container of litter. I'm just gonna put 15 for pets. Entertainment, so we do have the honeymoon coming up, and I'm kind of wanting to see a movie, but I haven't been to the movies in so long. Like I can't, it's probably been 15 years since I've been to the movies. So, or at least 12. So I have no idea what the movies cost now. Maybe I should Google that. $42. $42 for two people to go to the movies? That's rough. You know what? I'll just put $40 even. That should at least cover 2 tickets and like some popcorn or something, right? God, no wonder I don't go to the movies anymore. Maybe I should put 45. You know, I'm just gonna put 45 and go from there. And like I said about my work bonus and then the money from my parents and my supervisor, all that stuff is paying for all this, hopefully. I do have a little bit of the money already, just not all of it. Like I said, I don't like to spend money I don't have, but still, I mean, we're gonna do something fun because we just got married, so it's, I don't know, time to celebrate. Home goods and decor. Okay, so I actually want to get one of those like collage picture frame things so I can put some pictures from the wedding. So I'm not gonna lie, I really want one of those. And then I need to print some pictures from the wedding. I might put, I don't know how much that stuff runs. Maybe I should look real quick. Oh, some of these aren't that bad. Okay. Depending on how many photos you want to do. Oh, these aren't bad at all. You know what? I'm gonna put $30. I don't think there's any other home stuff that we really need. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that at 30. I think I'm good on like all my meal prep stuff and all that kind of stuff. Childcare, we will have a childcare payment. I'm gonna put 200 because while we're gone, someone else is watching her. So I'm gonna say 200. Business expenses, I don't really need anything for Etsy right now. So I'm just gonna put 0. Salon, 0. Dining out. So we are going to go out to eat at least twice. Because I know we're going to do like a lunch and a dinner, and we'll probably have one more dinner. They're kind of pricey. Man, I know one of the places is probably going to be like $80 or $90. The other place will probably be like $60. And then we may have one more. I'm actually going to put $250 total for everything we're going to eat during our hotel stay. So that, I don't know, that seems fair. $250. I'll just do that. Car maintenance, I'm also going to leave car maintenance at $250. Vacation, so the hotel cost, I don't remember the exact number. I think it was close to 500. I'm going to put 550 just for any kind of tax or anything that happens to come up there. Electronics, I'll just leave it 15. I'm not expecting anything there. Insurance and registration. I do know that we need to pay for our marriage license. We'll probably get maybe 2 copies. I don't know if we're getting 1 or 2 copies. I think that's the only fee we have left because my husband paid for the actual, like the fee when you get to the courthouse, like to perform the ceremony, he paid for that. I'm just gonna leave it at 0 because I really think he's gonna pay for all that. Gym and house cleaner, since I'm always 5 cents off, I'm gonna go ahead and raise that to $257.91 instead of 86. And maybe it will not show me as being 5 cents over now. Work, I don't have any work costs coming up. Miscellaneous, I pretty much always leave that at 20. Laundry, I'm gonna put 0 because I have plenty of laundry money right now. So my total expenses for the month that I anticipate is coming to $4,463. And between my normal salary, I get, so normal salary, $50 in credit card points, some of the wedding money I already have, and then actually right there should probably cover it. I think that would cover it alone, and the extra money from work for getting married would definitely help with that. So I'm not too worried, even though it is kind of we are spending a lot more than normal right now. So it probably seems weird for me to have like these actual expenses now and actually spending money, because so far I really haven't spent that much. It's been great. But because I haven't spent much, it makes it a lot easier to have a little bit extra right now. And then once we get past the wedding honeymoon type stuff, I get all my clothing returns taken care of, I can get back on track with not spending money and being able to save more, because I really am trying to prioritize saving. I want to be able to have my emergency fund. We would love to take a vacation as a family. It's going to take a while to save up for that, but I do have a lot of plans for stuff I want to do, and saving money is a huge priority. So hopefully maybe not next month, but at least for July, I will be planning on doing a lot of saving. So anyway, thank you for being here, and I apologize if I misled anyone by saying I'm married when I wasn't legally married, but if you've been in a long-term relationship, you know that it pretty much feels like you're married already. So I am very glad to announce that I am legally married, and we're just so excited. And as far as relating that to like budget and stuff, we did talk about combining finances, but I think for now we're just keeping them separate because we're pretty much on the same page with budget stuff. Although my husband, he really prioritizes investments and I really prioritize savings. So that's kind of the main thing that's keeping us a little bit separate on what we want to do. The good news is that we both want to save. We don't have exactly the same idea of how we want to save. But anyway, it's quite possible that we will merge our finances in the future, because with his investments, he's not doing like day trading or these short-term type things. He is actually investing in like ETFs and index funds and long-term, well, not stocks. He's not doing separate stocks, but like ETFs and index funds. So he does have the right idea about that. So I'm definitely not against it, but where everything is just so hectic right now, I still need to change my last name. There's just a lot on our plate that we're not really talking too much about that yet. Another reason is that I like to track literally everything. I want every single purchase to be on my spreadsheet. So the only exception, maybe if it's like less than a quarter, but if it's like $1, I don't care that's $1. I'm going to be tracking it. I've tracked stuff that was like a 50 cents expense, like if I went over my meal credits at work or whatever. So I track everything. My husband does not do that. He wants kind of a general idea, and he used to track really, he used to be really strict with his tracking, and he kind of got an idea of what he spends, so he doesn't feel the need to do it like that every month. So if I was going to track everything for our whole family, including his expenses, it would be a lot, because sometimes I don't spend money because I don't want to track it. I don't know if that's like stupid or genius, but that's one of the things I do. Do I really want to be tracking all these little individual purchases? Sometimes I just say, no, I'm not going to buy that bag of chips or that coffee or whatever. I don't want to track it. It's a waste of money anyway, so whatever. But my husband has a ton of little individual purchases, so it would be a lot for me to track that. So yeah, there's some pros and cons to all of that. We're still kind of thinking on it, but maybe I'll make a video about that at some point, just kind of weighing all of that out. But anyway, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, comment, do all the YouTube things, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.